Map revamps and Phantom Forces. There's certainly no shortage of them, that's for sure. Every map added to the game during or before beta, except for Highway Lot, has gotten a revamp or two. Revamps are often very controversial, as a lot of PF players are blinded by nostalgia when ranking maps, and will prefer the original version even if the revamp is a direct upgrade. Now, this video is about Ravod 911 revamp, but I wanted to quickly speedrun every map revamp in the game and say whether it's a good change or a bad change from the original map. Here we go. Ravod 911 revamp. Good. You'll see why in a few minutes. Second Storm. Good. A slight improvement to an already very well designed map. Metro revamp. Bad. They somehow made the spawns even worse on this map, and the 200 kill games aren't a very good sign. Crane Site revamp. Bad. It's literally the worst map in the entire game. Mall revamp. Good. Still a horrible map, but an improvement over Mall. Mirage revamp. Good. It's still Mirage, but the current version removed a lot of stuff that made Mirage even more boring than it is right now. Bazaar revamp. Bad. They removed almost all the funny spots, except for this one. Castle Keep. Good. Refinery was boring as hell and you're just blinded by nostalgia. At least Castle looks cooler. Alright, so that's every map revamp in the game right now. Each of them will maybe get their own video in the future, but we're talking about ravodvamp today. So, what's the deal with this map? Why are so many of my PF videos filmed on this specific map? Why do I like Ravod revamp so much? Well, I'll admit that this map isn't close to perfect. I could honestly do without this entire building on the far side of the map, and I'm not a big fan of super vertical maps like this either. But for all of its faults, this is one of the most drastic improvements of any map revamp in the entire game, and here's why. First off, unlike the other Ravod version in this game, this one isn't lying to you. It's a revamped version of the classic Ravod and was released just last year. This other map right here is not the 2016 version at all. That alone makes ravodvamp infinitely better. Second off, the spawns are by all accounts a massive improvement on this map, and a large benefit of having big maps like this is that there's much more room for the spawns. Keep in mind though, you're still playing PF. The worst place on any map to be in is your own spawn, so you'll want to get out of there as soon as possible. And that's made much easier on ravodvamp. If you want to score highly on this map, you won't do it just by staying in one place. Both sides of the map require you to move around a lot in order to find people, as each team's spawn area spans the entire length of the map. It's still very much possible to drop high kill games on this map if you know what you're doing, but like all maps, you still have to get out your own spawn first. If you're a ghost, you'll spawn all along this edge of the map. If you spawn here with the tanks, going into this building is certain death, so your only hope is to book it directly into the phantom spawn and pray that nobody sees you. If you spawn anywhere else along that side of the map, you're much better off, as there's plenty of cover for you to be able to move to the center of the map or up to the roofs. Now, I'm not gonna lie, if you're playing on Phantoms, you have a pretty nice advantage over Ghosts. Even though this looks an awful lot like the Phantom side of Dunes, this is actually the only place in the game where you can flank the enemy by walking directly towards them, because climbing up these ladders doesn't make any noise at all. This is exactly why it's harder to spawn trap Phantoms on this map than Ghosts. The place where you normally sit and farm kills is very easily ambushed even by directly walking towards the enemy. If your enemy is somehow smart enough to think about this and checks the ladder every so often, they still aren't going to consider the fact that you can just flank them normally by going up this one instead. Keep in mind though, that if you do go up this ladder, you'll have to watch out for ghosts coming this way, frantically trying to escape their spawn. And if they're really smart and aren't using a sniper, they'll just throw themselves off the roof of that building and directly at the phantom spawn, similar to how you'd spawn trap ghosts on this map, though slightly less effective. If you're using a sniper, then yes, you can be extremely annoying by going up the roofs, but it can be quite difficult to do that without getting spotted, and you need to be constantly aware of people coming up the ladders at all times, so game sense is absolutely vital here. Let's talk objectives. Player domination and hardpoint are the only two modes where this building has any relevance whatsoever, as one of the objectives can be right there in it. Also, the hill placement here is absolutely disgusting, and it's impossible to capture it without getting blown up by a grenade. Seriously, what the hell were they thinking? There was absolutely nothing wrong with the hill placement on this map before. It gave snipers an actual purpose on Ravod Koth. All they're doing by moving the hill underground is making it attract grenades like moths to a lamp. I would say that this is a downgrade from Ravod 2016, but they decided to butcher the glory that is old Ravod even further and put the hill underground on that map as well. Like, they're basically begging you to put your gun away and just grenade spam the hill the whole match instead of actually playing the game. Anyway, like I said, I'm not too fond of this building here, since it's so out of the way, but I guess it serves a small purpose in protecting the ghosts when they spawn there for 25% of the match. Also, spawning near these things on the ghost side shouldn't be the death sentence that it is, but what Stylus really needs to do is turn their attention to Ravod 2016. That map is absolutely nothing like the actual 2016 version of Ravod. You know what you've done, Stylus. As for Ravod 911 Revamp, it's absolutely not a perfect map by any means, and it has tons of room for improvement, but as far as PF maps go, it's one of my personal favorites, and I'm glad that people seem to like it as much as I do. With that being said, thanks for watching. I wanted to lean into the guide aspect of these videos a bit more here, partly so that they'd be a bit longer than 5 minutes each, and partly so that they'd be a little bit more informative. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.